Hi, welcome to the Movie Slackers. I'm Robbie Rob, and this is Johnny Two Toes. Today we're reviewing Terminator Genisys, also known as Terminator Genisys.
Genisys.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger and quite a few other people in there.
Arnold.
This is the main movie review that we've done. We actually waited a few days to do this, but but we did see it before the 4th of July. Johnny, I guess I'll start off with it.
Go ahead and knock about it.
I would say that
that pause to tell you everything you need to know.
I mean, yeah, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love all of his action movies and stuff, and I still think he was pretty good in this. He just had a lot of other stuff going on with this. I mean, yeah, this not necessarily spoiler alerts, but it's pretty much known that John Connor, and the Resistance, they go to take down Skynet and everything, and he knows the time machine's going to be there, and of course. Skynet sends back the T-800, aka Arnold, to finish off Sarah Connor, and so then Kyle Reese, of course, he sends John Connor.
Well, I think he has. Because
sends back Kyle Reese there too, but there is a young Arnold Schwarzenegger there too, and there's a liquid metal Terminator in there too, and they
whole lot of Terminators in this one.
Yeah, they take those out too, but I mean, and also I will say spoiler alert, but as Kyle Reese is going through the time machine there, he kind of sees John Connor and something grabs a hold of him there. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, like that. And he didn't say I'll be back.
I'll sit down later. Thanks.
And he's seen this, and as he's traveling through there too, he sees his younger self talking about the Genisys. There's like a new computer program or whatever.
Well, see, the fact
Genisys machine.
The fact that you have to explain all this, the fact you have to explain all this tells you what you need about this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is so stuffed full of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is
going that way.
And I read this morning. It's got 7 different timeline changes, and some of it even negates what was in the first 2 films.
Oh yeah.
And they've not talked anything about the 3rd and the 4th films. But and I'll interrupt you, but that's how convoluted this thing is. And I mean, it's not a bad film. It's just one of these movies that kind of just doesn't know where it wants to go. It doesn't know what it wants to do with the whole timeline thing.
Pretty choppy, and
very choppy.
We've talked about spoiler alerts, and we've brought this out after the 4th of July.
And another thing,
people already knew that John Connor was going to end up being a bad guy. So
why would you show a trailer that reveals that? That was the one thing you had going for this movie, and they screwed it up by revealing that in the trailer. So you go into this movie, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, John Connor.
John Connor's going to be a bad guy.
So yeah.
I mean, that just baffles me.
And at least when you're in the movie, you realize he's a bad guy. And of course, you already know what's going to happen. Yeah. So it wasn't a surprise. So
probably
if they had not did as much maybe advertising on this and put
I wouldn't have revealed
all the trailers and stuff.
I would not have revealed that plot point for sure. I mean, that would have. I mean, can you imagine watching that movie and saying, "Oh my goodness, John Connor's now become a Terminator"? It baffles me that they would do that.
He wasn't necessarily. Yeah, he's like some kind of.
He was hybrid. Yeah,
I mean, it was almost like a.
And they've got
like a pixelated or something. I don't know what you call it, or like a nano. It almost reminded me too, because I used to watch Stargate a lot too, when they would fight the nanobots and stuff too, and they'd have all this little. It almost reminds me of that. So.
The casting is I have no problem with the casting. I mean, Arnold is Arnold. He's always going to be good.
Yeah, you got to have
Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones is a very good Sarah Connor.
And
you've got Jason Clarke, who plays John Connor. He's great to watch. This guy is always kind of edgy and on the he's got the crazy eyes, he's got the frizzy hair, he's got all these different things that make him just so interesting to watch.
Talk to, and he does have a presence, and of course
he's got a charisma.
Of course, Arnold's going to have a big.
Arnold's always going to be Arnold
on film and stage, but
but then the casting of Jai Courtney. I mean, I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. I'm sure he's got some talent as an actor. But he is so wooden and so dry and so uncharismatic.
I guess they were trying to make him look like that kind of innocent guy or something. But he's already been through. He's already been through war and everything else too. It's like come on.
He just I don't know. He just for me he just doesn't do it for me. He just
doesn't have
comes across as he's very boring. He's very dull. Yeah. I mean Michael Biehn in the original one that was Kyle Reese was
he was totally different.
You felt there was something at stake because his performance was so full of energy and life. and you really felt that if he didn't save Sarah Connor, that humankind was doomed. Mm-hmm. This one here, it's like he's trying to get her to a bus stop one time. You know,
he was trying to get a date with her.
Yeah, you know. But it's and then they've got the T-1000 makes an appearance and kind of comes and goes. And
they were ready for him.
They were ready for him, and you know, it just these things, and then Miles Dyson, it makes an appearance in the movie, played by Courtney B. Vance, and his son Danny Dyson makes an appearance as Danny Okoniwi. And these are characters that were so important in this, especially in the second film, that are hardly even really talked about in this film. There's really not a whole lot there, and it's just basically you get well designed action pieces. But there's no meat behind them.
And there's this real big flashy Genisys compound, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Big. I mean, it's huge, but like, you know, does it have to be like that?
But they don't explain any of this. They kind of throw it there and say, "This is it."
Well, you know how computers are, and even like the third one too. It was like, yeah, I mean, you know, there's computers everywhere. Just you inject a program into something.
Well, see,
why did they have to have this big Genisys compound?
Well, the Genisys is an app in this movie, which later becomes Skynet. And why that has to happen like that, I don't understand that. I mean, they don't explain what Genisys becomes Skynet. Wow, that's great. Yeah. Why couldn't Skynet was Skynet all through the first 4 films. We didn't hear of Genisys. Now all of a sudden we hear Genisys. And now suddenly
did we hear anything about Cyberdyne? It's Genisys. It's the I don't know.
I guess it becomes Cyberdyne. You know, who knows? But Alan Taylor, the director who's directed The Dark World, has admitted there's no less than 7 timeline transformations in this movie, and he says, "Well, they were trying to save the world, so we figured the audience would go with it." Okay,
they were going to take him on try to take us on a ride, but it wasn't that fun of a ride.
$170 million. Yeah. Go with it, sure. But I mean, you know, they've got Patrick Lussier, who's basically worked with Wes Craven, doing horror films, has co-written a script with Leita Kalogridis, and they both have written a script that is all over the map. The acting is good. I mean, Jai Courtney, notwithstanding, the acting from the others is good. The score, finally, they've got what sounds like an original score that does justice to the Brad Fiedel scores by Lauren Balfe is an excellent score. If you get a chance to buy it, I would buy it. But for me, this movie is supposedly the first installment of a reboot of a trilogy. So settle in, kids. We got 2 more coming.
It's hardest to get hit at the 4th of July box office, which should be a big meat and potatoes. You know, if you're gonna release something on 4th of July like a big blockbuster, you better make some money out of it. And it doesn't look like it's happening. So,
but it's not awful. It's definitely the weakest one of the series for me, anyway.
Would you recommend to go see it, or would you tell them to hold off and wait for it to come out on video, or would you say matinee maybe?
Matinee maybe.
Maybe take the kids.
I mean, again,
get some discount tickets.
my
go see it, but you know it isn't like Jurassic World.
No,
it isn't. Nowhere.
My bellwether would be if you've seen everything else. If you've seen Mad Max, which is still number 1 for me, Fury Road.
For you,
Avengers.
Avengers,
Jurassic
Age
World.
Of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. Jurassic World. If you've seen those 3, and you need to watch something, watch Terminator Genisys.
You want some action in your Arnold fan. Yeah,
like I said, the action is competent. I mean, the acting is decent. The movie score by Lauren Balfe is good. I mean, it's not a complete and total waste of time. But
I think they did a good job a couple times showing the younger.
They did.
Terminator,
I will say that. I'm glad you brought
Schwarzenegger. I think
there were some homages to the original film, and literally that first scene where he says, "I've been waiting for you," is a shot-for-shot remake homage from the first film, and it's done very well. I mean, there's some things in this film that do work that are done well, but it's just too much thrown at the screen.
Too much time jumping and all kinds.
It just is convoluted and 2.75 slacks for me.
I'm going to be very generous and give it a 3 just because I'm a Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I think he did. It's not Arnold's fault.
No, it's not.
About
it's
the screenwriting,
but
the script and everything. So I'll give it a graceful 3.
Graceful 3.
Yes,
I like that. Graceful 3.
Go see it. Yeah, get you maybe a matinee, and go see it, but just be prepared to realize it's not going to be as good as the first 2.
Yeah,
but at all.
First 4 for me anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Oh, you don't think it's as good as even Salvation?
No, I thought the director's cut of Salvation was actually quite good, and I liked the third one.
I wasn't very much on Salvation.
Christina Loken,
yeah,
playing the female Terminator was really kind of.
It's not like the first two, but yeah, it was fine.
But the first two are definitely the standards by which.
So go see it. Maybe a matinee. You get you some discount tickets and take some candy in with you. And we're the Movie Slackers. Please subscribe, like,
comment
on Movie Slackers YouTube channel.
And our website, movieslackers.com. And we thank you. Okay. All right. Hands back in the car. Thank you.